Picture this: a towering Viking warrior, beard braided, axe in hand, standing on the edge of a longship as icy ocean waves crash around him. Now imagine, right beside him, a fluffy cat casually licking its paw. Not exactly the image history books paint, right? But here's the truth: cats weren't just along for the ride in the Viking Age, they were essential crew members, spiritual symbols, and possibly the most competent beings on board. Today, we're diving into the real, fascinating, and slightly chaotic relationship between cats and Vikings. And yes, this is all grounded in actual historical evidence. Let's start with the basics. Why did Vikings need cats? Viking ships and settlements had a serious problem: rats. Longships carried food supplies like grain, dried fish, and meat, which made them irresistible to rodents. Rats weren't just annoying, they could destroy food stores and spread disease, which was a huge risk on long voyages. So Vikings did what humans had been doing for thousands of years. They brought cats. Cats were natural pest control. No training needed, no wages required, just instinct. Archaeological evidence confirms that domesticated cats were present in Scandinavia during the Viking Age, and their role was clear: protect food supplies and keep rodent populations under control. So while Vikings were out raiding and exploring, cats were handling the real crisis: mice. Now imagine life aboard a Viking longship. It's cramped, cold, damp, and full of people who definitely haven't discovered deodorant. Historians believe cats regularly traveled with Vikings on their ships, helping control pests during long sea journeys. But they didn't just stay on the ships, they went wherever the Vikings went. As Vikings expanded into places like Britain, Ireland, and Iceland, they brought cats with them. This helped spread domesticated cats across Northern Europe. There's even genetic research suggesting that some modern European cats can trace ancestry back to these Viking-era populations. So yes, Vikings didn't just conquer lands, they also expanded the global cat network. Freyja's Felines. Cats weren't just practical, they were deeply symbolic. In Norse mythology, the goddess Freyja, associated with love, fertility, and war, rode in a chariot pulled by two large cats. Which is incredible and raises a lot of questions. How big were these cats? Were they just normal cats with elite strength? Did they stop mid-journey to stare at nothing? We don't have all the answers, but the symbolism matters. Because of Freyja, cats became associated with femininity, fertility, and domestic life in Viking culture. They weren't just useful animals, they had spiritual significance. There's even a long-standing belief that giving a bride a kitten brings good luck and fertility to a marriage, which is a bold wedding gift. So were Vikings actually attached to their cats? Evidence suggests yes. Archaeologists have found cat remains in Viking burial sites, sometimes buried alongside humans. That's a big deal. Viking burials often included items considered important: weapons, tools, jewelry. So including a cat suggests it had real value, either as a companion or as something useful in the afterlife. This wasn't just a casual relationship. Cats were part of Viking daily life and possibly their afterlife plans too. Which honestly makes sense. If you're heading into the unknown, you might as well bring something that can handle itself. Now, a quick reality check. While Vikings valued cats, they also used animal fur for clothing, including cat fur. Yes. Both things are true. Archaeological textile evidence shows that cat pelts were sometimes used for warmth. In a harsh climate like Scandinavia, practicality often came first. So on one hand, you've got cats as companions and protectors. On the other, they were also a resource. It's not exactly comforting, but it is historically accurate. Here's where things get surprisingly big. As Vikings traveled and traded across Europe, they brought cats with them, not intentionally as exports, but as companions and working animals. Over time, this helped spread domesticated cats into new regions. So Viking trade routes didn't just move goods like silver and textiles, they also played a role in shaping animal populations across Europe. That's a pretty long-lasting legacy. Your cat refusing to acknowledge your existence today might be part of a lineage that crossed seas, survived harsh climates, and adapted to entirely new environments. And now it won't eat unless the food is served in the correct bowl. Let's be honest, Vikings and cats have a lot in common. They're independent, territorial, capable of sudden, unexplained aggression. And both operate on a very clear principle: do what you want, when you want. It's not hard to imagine a Viking respecting that. In a way, cats weren't just useful, they fit the Viking mindset. Fast forward to today, and cats are everywhere. But their connection to the Viking world still lingers. Take the Norwegian forest cat, for example, a large, thick-coated breed adapted to cold climates. While we can't say every one of them is directly descended from Viking cats, they're strongly associated with that region and its history. They look the part, too. They could survive a snowstorm and judge you at the same time. It's not hard to picture one sitting on a Viking ship, completely unfazed by the chaos around it. So what's the takeaway? Cats weren't just background animals in the Viking Age. They were hunters, protectors, companions, and symbols woven into both daily life and mythology. They helped Vikings survive long journeys, influenced cultural beliefs, and even played a role in spreading domesticated cats across Europe, all while maintaining the exact same attitude they have today: unbothered, unimpressed, slightly mysterious. So next time your cat stares into the distance like it knows something ancient, it might not be imagining things. After all, its kitty ancestors may have sailed with Vikings.